Hello everyone, today we are going to study the 10th chapter of Moments of Class 9th. The title of the chapter is The Beggar written by Anton Chekhov. This story is about a beggar who used to beg by deceiving people. He used to frame different fictional story, and by narrating those stories to the people, he used to deceive them. So he was a sort of fraud. But one day he met with Sergey, who is an advocate, and this man Sergey and his cook changed this man totally, and from a beggar he became a notary. So how and what induced that changes in him is being given in this story, is being narrated in this story. So now let's move to the text. Kind sir, have pity. Turn your attention to a poor, hungry man. For 3 days I have had nothing to eat. I haven't 5 kopecks for a lodging. I swear it before God. For 8 years I was a school teacher, and then I lost my place through intrigues. I fell a victim of calumny. It was a year now since I have had anything to do. So now here the beggar, the story starts with the dialogue of beggar. He's begging to Sergey. And what he is saying, kind sir, he is referring to Sergey the advocate. Kind sir, have pity. Pity here refers to have some sympathy, have some compassion for me. And for what? He says that he is a poor and hungry man. And he says that from 3 days, for last 3 days, he has not eaten anything. And he says that he don't even have 5 kopecks. What is kopecks? Kopecks is the currency. Kopecks is Russian coin for lodging. So he don't even have anything to eat. He don't have shelter. He don't have any lodging. And he says that I swear it before God, for 8 years I was a school teacher. So before this condition, before he started begging, before that he says that he was a school teacher earlier for 8 years. But there he fell victim of some plot, some plan, someone deceived him, and due to which he lost his job. Here calumny, it means slander. What is slander? To make false statement about someone in order to damage his reputation. So he says that someone plotted a plan against him, and due to which he earned bad name, and as a result he lost his position as a school teacher. He was serving as a school teacher for 8 years, but now as the job is lost, he has nothing to eat. He don't have any shelter, he don't have any home, he have nothing to eat. He is poor now. The advocate Sergey looked at the ragged, fawn-colored overcoat of the suppliant, at his dull drunken eyes, at the end spot on either cheek, and it seemed to him as if he had seen this man somewhere before. So now we are introduced to the second character of this story, whose name is Sergey. He is an advocate. So as the beggar was begging to him, he had a look of him. Now here the word rag has been used. Rag, it means old and torn clothes. And fawn here refers to light brown color. And suppliant here it means beggar. So while the beggar was speaking to him, the advocate, the Sergey, he looked at him. He looked at his appearance. He looked at his overcoat, the torn overcoat which he was wearing, and dull drunken eyes. He has dull drunken eyes. It means he was a drunkard. He was drunk. At the red spot of the either cheek, he had red spot on both of the cheek, and it seemed to Sergey that he has seen this man before even. I have now had an offer of a position in the province of Kaluga. The mendicant went on, but I haven't the money to get there. Help me kindly. I am ashamed to ask, but I am obliged to by circumstances. So he says that now he was offered a position. It means he had an offer letter, he has got an appointment, he has got a job in the province of Kaluga. But he says that in order to join the job, he will have to go there, and for that, in order to reach that place, in order to reach the province of Kaluga, he don't even have any money to reach there, and therefore he says that he feel ashamed to ask to him for some money, but he says that he can't do anything. He is obliged to the circumstances, that he is forced to do so as he don't have anything to do. Sergi's eyes fell on the man's overshoes, one of which was high and the other low, and he suddenly remembered something. Then what it is being said, that Sergi, the advocate to whom the beggar was referring to whom he was speaking to, he suddenly, his eyes fell over his overshoes. It means the shoes which he was wearing, and what he noticed, his one shoe was high and another was low. It means both of the shoes was not of same size. And then he remembered something. Let's see what he remembered. Look here, it seems to me I met you the day before yesterday in Sadovia Street, he said, but you told me then that you were a student who had been expelled and not a village school teacher. Do you remember? So then what he remembered, as soon as Sergi saw the shoe of that beggar, he remembered that he has met this beggar a day before yesterday, and that day this beggar has narrated him another story, and at that time he has told him that he was a school student who has been expelled. So he met that beggar in Sadovia Street, and at that time he narrated him a story that he was a student, but he was expelled and he was not a village school teacher. So this time he is narrating a story that he was a village school teacher, but previously when he has met him before, on that day he narrated him that he was a student who was expelled. No, that cannot be so, mumbled the beggar, taken aback. I am a village school teacher, and if you like, I can show you my papers. So as soon as Sergi said him that I can identify you, I met you before as well, and that day you have narrated me another story that you were a student. Then he started mumbling. Mumbling, it means murmuring. He lost his confidence. He was surprised. And then he says that no, it's not like that. I'm a school teacher only. If you want, I can even show you my papers. Have done with lying. You called yourself a student and even told me what you had been expelled for. Don't you remember? Sergi flushed and turned from the ragged creature with an expression of disgust. This is dishonesty, my dear sir, he cried angrily. This is swindling. I shall send the police for you, damn you. So, Sergi, he said reluctantly that no, I remember very well that day you told me that you were a student and you have been expelled, and even I remember the reason that you narrated me that why you have been expelled. So I remember everything. Don't try to cheat me. And he got angry. He was disgusted. He turned away from that beggar with a feeling of hate and disgust. Disgust, it means dislike and hate. And then while he was turning away, he told it to the beggar that this is dishonesty and this is swindling. Swindling, it means it's a fraudulent. You are cheating people. So he said that I can send police for you. You will be arrested for this act, as you are cheating people, you are deceiving people by framing different stories. So you are a fraud and you may be charged with a case and police may arrest you. Sir, he said, laying his hand on his heart, the fact is, I was lying. I am neither a student nor a school teacher. All that was fiction. Formerly, I sang in Russian choir and was sent away for drunkenness. But what else can I do? I can't get along without lying. No one will give me anything when I tell the truth. What can I do? So when Sergi He got angry. When he shouted angrily on that beggar, then he said that, "Dear sir, forgive me." He said that both the story which I have narrated to you, that I was a student and a school teacher, all that story was a fiction, it was a lie, it was framed by me only. And he says that in reality he used to sing in a Russian choir. Choir is a group of singers. So he says that he used to sing, he used to be a singer in a Russian choir, but he was a drunkard, he used to drink a lot, and therefore he was expelled from there. He was thrown out of that choir group, and therefore he says that he is left with nothing. He is forced to lie. He don't want to lie, but he is forced to lie. Why he is forced to lie? Because he says that if he will narrate the true story, then no one will give him anything to eat or anything to do. So he says that he is forced to lie. He don't want to lie. "What can you do? You ask what you can do," cried Sergi, coming close to him. "Work. That's what you can do. You must work." "Work? Yes, I know that myself. But where can I find work? How would you like to chop wood for me?" "I would not refuse to do that, but in these days even skilled woodcutters find themselves sitting without bread. Will you come and chop wood for me?" "Yes, sir, I will." So that beggar, he said to Sergi that, "I have nothing to do. What can I do except lying?" Then Sergi, he became angry and he shouted at him. He cried at him that, "You asked me what you should do?" Then he said that you should work. You must work. So this is what you can do. Then he said that, "Yes, I want to do work," but he could not find any work for himself. Then he said that the advocate, Sergi, asked him that could he cut wood for him. Then he says that, "I don't want to refuse it as you have offered me a job, but the thing is that these days even the skilled woodcutters, it means the person who are in this profession, even they are finding it very hard to survive in that profession." Then Sergi said that, "Do you want to do this job for me or not? Will you chop wood for me?" He said that, "Yes, sir, I will." "Very well, we will soon find out." Sergi hastened along, rubbing his hand. He called his cook out of the kitchen. "Here, Olga," he said, "take this gentleman into the wood shed and let him chop wood." So we are here in this paragraph, we are introduced to the third character of this story, whose name is Olga. Olga is a cook of Sergi, an advocate. So he introduced the beggar to Olga and he said her to take that beggar into the wood shed where he was supposed to chop wood for Sergi. The scarecrow of beggar surged his shoulders as if in perplexity and went irresolutely after the cook. It was obvious from his gait that he had not consented to go and chop wood because he was hungry and wanted work, but simply from pride and shame, and because he had been trapped by his own words. It was obvious too that his strength had been undermined by vodka and that he was unhealthy and did not feel the slightest inclination for toil. So here it is being said in this paragraph about his response, that how he responded to the work which was offered by Sergi to the beggar. So here perplexity it means confused. Irresolutely, here it means hesitant and doubtful. And gait means person's manner of walking, and toil here it refers to the hard work. So here it has been said that while he was walking, while he was following Olga to the wood shed, the manner he was walking, the manner in which he was walking, it shows that he was not willing to do that job. And it has been said that he was not there to chop wood because he was hungry and wanted work. So it was not like that this man, the beggar, wanted to do work and he wanted to earn his bread. So it was not like that. Why it was not like that? Because it has been said here that perhaps he was unhealthy. It has been said that the alcoholic drink, vodka, here it has been referred. Vodka is an alcoholic drink, and here it is being said that perhaps those alcoholic drink has made this person weak and unhealthy, and therefore he even don't feel slightest inclination for hard work. So he don't want to do hard work now. But today he was forced to come to Sergi house. Why? Because he felt trapped. He was trapped in his own trap. He narrated the story to the wrong person because Sergi he has already met him before, and when he was caught that he was cheating him, was deceiving people, so he made another story that he was out of work, he don't have any work, and as now he was being provided work by Sergi, and therefore for shame and pride he was forced to do that work. But his continence, his expression, as well as his strength, his physique shows that he don't want to work, and even he is not fit for doing hard work. Sergi hurried into the dining room. From its window, one could see the woodshed and everything that went on in the yard. Standing at the window, Sergi saw the cook and the beggar come out into the yard by the back door and make their way across the dirty snow to the shed. Olga glared wrathfully at her companion, shoved him aside with her elbow, unlocked the shed, and angrily banged the door. So now Sergi, he introduced that man, that beggar, to Olga, and then he went into his dining room, and from that room, he could clearly see everything what was going on in his yard. So from there, he could see his wood shed. So what he saw, that cook took the beggar inside the yard from the back door, and she was angry. Here the word has been used, glared wrathfully. So she looked at him. She looked at that beggar wrathfully, it means angrily. She was not happy with his companion. Companion, who is companion over here? That beggar is companion. So what she did, when she reached that wood shed, she shoved, it means she pushed him. She pushed him aside with her elbow, and then angrily she unlocked that wood shed and banged on the door, so she hit on the door. Next he saw the pseudo teacher sit himself on a log and became lost in the thought. With his red cheeks resting on his fist, the woman flung down an axe at his feet, spat angrily, and judging from the expression of her lips, began to scold him. So now Sergi, he was sitting in his dining room, and from the window he was looking everything, whatever was going near woodshed. He was watching the beggar and Olga. So here the word pseudo has been used. Pseudo, it means not genuine. And from there, sitting in the room, in the dining room, he was able to see everything. What he saw that beggar, he sat himself on the log. Log is the piece of wood, trunk of wood, and that man, the beggar, he sat himself on the log, and after that he seems to be lost in his thought, and his cheeks were resting on his fist. So here you can see that his countenance, his expression shows that he was not supposed to do work, he was not fit for that job, as chopping wood is a very tedious job, it's a hard job, and this man, his physical appearance, it shows that he was not fit for job, and even he was not willing to do that job. So this woman, Olga, what she did, she flung down an axe at his feet. Flung, it means she threw axe, she took out axe from that woodshed and she threw it at the feet of that man, and she started scolding him. Sitting in the room, Sergi, he could judge the expression, the lips of that woman, of Olga, and from that he could sense that the lady Olga was scolding that man. A spat here, it means it's a past form of a spit, it means she threw saliva from her mouth, and it means she was giving a disgust expression, and she was shouting, she was scolding, she was abusing this beggar. The beggar irresolutely pulled a billet of wood toward him, set it up between his feet and tapped it feebly with the axe. The billet wavered and fell down. The beggar again pulled it to him below on his freezing hands and tapped it with the axe cautiously, as if afraid of hitting his oversaw, of cutting off his finger. The stick of wood again fell to the ground. So here it has been said, here the word billet has been used. So what is billet? Billet is a thick piece of wood. And the beggar irresolutely, it means unwillingly, what he did, he pulled the billet, and what he did then, he set it up between his legs. So he caught that billet. Billet is the wood which was supposed to be chopped. So he caught that wood with his leg, and with the axe he took axe in his hand and he tapped. It means tap is, he gave a very slow and feeble blow. Feeble is very weak blow. So as the wood is to be chopped, a very strong blow is required to chop the wood, but he gave a very slow and very weak blow. And when he did it, that billet, that wood, it wavered, it means it moved and it fell down. So he again tried, and it seems that he was afraid, and he was applying X very cautiously. He was afraid. He thought that perhaps, his expression shows that perhaps he was afraid, and it seems to him that it may be that he will cut his leg or his finger, and therefore he was using that axe very feebly and very cautious. Sergi's anger vanished, and he now began to feel a little sorry and ashamed of himself for having set a spoiled, drunken, perhaps sick man to work at menial labor in cold. So, when he was looking at that beggar to whom he has referred as a spoiled, drunken, and sick man, to that menial job. So he says that till now, by now, his anger has vanished, as he was angry on that beggar, but now he is no more angry, and while he was looking at him, he felt sorry for himself. He felt sorry as well as ashamed. Why he was feeling sorry and ashamed? Because he thought that this person is not fit for doing that job, unskilled job, but he has forced him to do that job, and therefore he was feeling sorry and ashamed. An hour later, Olga came in and announced that the wood had all been chopped. Good, give him half a ruble, said Sergi. If he wants to, he can come back and cut wood on the first day of each month. We can also find work for him. So after an hour, Olga came into the room and she announced that all wood has been chopped, and then he said to Olga that give him half a ruble. Again, it's a currency of Russia. And after that, even he said that if he want work, if he want a regular work, he can come on the first day of every month. It means on the first date of every month, and he can chop wood for him. And then he said that for the meanwhile, he will do this job, and at the same time he will find some other job for him as well. On the first of the month, the waif made his appearance and again earned half a ruble. Although he would barely stand on his feet, from that day on he often appeared in the yard, and every time work was found for him, now he would shovel snow, now put the wood shed in order, now beat the dust out of the rugs and mattresses. Every time he received from 20 to 40 kopecks, and once even a pair of old trousers were sent out to him. So here it has been said that this man, he used to appear on the first date of every month, and he used to cut wood, and after that it is being said that he started appearing, he started coming to Sergi's house very now and then, and whenever he came he was given some or other work, and here the word waif has been used for him. So what is the meaning of waif? Waif is young person who is thin and looks unhealthy. So he has been referred as young, thin and unhealthy person. So whenever he came, he was indulged in some menial job, he was given some work to do, and in return he was given something from 20 to 40 kopecks. Kopecks is again currency, and sometimes even Sergi used to give him handed-down clothes. When Sergi moved into another house, he hired him to help in the packing and hauling of the furniture. This time the waif was sober, gloomy, and silent. He hardly touched the furniture and walked behind the wagons, hanging his head, not even making a pretense of appearing busy. He only shivered in cold and became embarrassed when the carters jeered at him for his idleness, his feebleness, and his tattered fancy overcoat. After the moving was over, Sergi sent for him. So it has been said here in this paragraph that now Sergi, he was shifting to another house, and in order to shift the furnitures as well as in order to carry out packing as he was moving to another house, he was relocating. This beggar, he was called, but this time what he did, as he was circle, it has been said even in the previous paragraph that he was thin, unhealthy, and he could hardly even stand properly, as he was a drunkard. He used to drink a lot, and therefore today it has been said that on the day when the all household things were supposed to be shifted from this old house to the new place where he was shifting, where Sergi was shifting, on that day he seemed to be sober, gloomy, sad, and silent. And that day he hardly did anything. He don't even touch the furniture. He did not do anything. Just what he used to do, he used to just walk behind the wagon, hanging his head. So he seems to be wasting the time. He was not doing anything. He was just standing over there. And it has been said that not even making a pretense of appearing busy. So he did not even pretended that he is doing something. He was just standing idle over there without doing anything. He was standstill and he was not doing anything. He did not even touch a furniture. He only shivered in cold. It means he was shaking out of cold and he was feeling ashamed. And time and again the carters, who is the carter? Carter is the person who transport load on a cart. So the person who was supposed to transport a household things on his cart, that person is known as carters over here. And here jeered, it means make rude and mocking remarks. So as this person, this beggar, he was not doing anything. He was just standing idle without doing anything. And therefore this man, the carter, he jeered, he abused him, he made fun of him, and even then he did not did anything. So he was making fun of his idleness, his feebleness, feeble is weakness, and his tattered fancy overcoat. So tattered here refers to the old and torn clothes, the old and torn fancy overcoat which he was wearing. Well, I am happy that my words have taken effect, he said, handing him a ruble. Here's for your pains. I see you are sober and have no objection to work. What is your name, Laskov? Well, Laskov, I can now offer you some other cleaner employment. Can you write? So when shifting was over, when it was done, after that, Sergi, an advocate, he called that beggar and then he said that you had been very sober, you had been good and kind, and it seems that you do all sort of work, whatever is being offered to you. So it shows that you are very hard working fellow, as you have not denied any work whatever I gave to you. So it seems that you want to work, but since you did not have any work and therefore you was begging. So now I find you a good person. And then that day he asked him his name, and here we come to know the name of that beggar, that is Laskov. And then he says that now I can offer you some other job, some better job. And then he asked him that can he write or not. I can. Then take this letter to a friend of mine tomorrow and you will be given some copying to do. Work hard, don't drink, and remember what I have said to you. Goodbye. So when he said that yes, he can write, then what he did, he gave him a letter and he said him that take this letter to one of his friends, and he said that he will give you some work, a work of copying. So he will be asked to copy some or other things. It means he was supposed to write, and then he gave him some suggestion, some do and don'ts, and he asked him to work hard and don't drink, and then he said goodbye to that person. Pleased at having put a man on right path, Sergey tapped Laskov kindly on the shoulder and even gave him his hand of parting. Laskov took the letter and from that day forth came no more to the yard for work. So Laskov, he left that point with the letter which was given to him by Sergey, and since that day he never came again back to the yard, back to the home of Sergey. And Sergey, he was feeling proud, he was feeling better. Why he was feeling better? Because he thought to himself that he has corrected one man. He had changed one man from a drunkard to a workaholic person. And then he parted. Then this man left that place, and after that he never came back to Sergey. 2 years later, 2 years went by. Then one evening, as Sergey was standing at the ticket window of a theatre paying for his seat, he noticed a little man beside him with a coat collar of curly fur and worn silk skin cap. This little individual timidly asked the ticket seller for a seat in the gallery and paid for it in copper coins. So this man, the beggar, did not come back to Sergey house for 2 years. Now 2 years has passed, and then Sergey, one day what happened, he went one evening to watch movie, and while he was standing at the window paying for his ticket, at that time what he saw a man, he was standing beside him, he was standing by him, and that man, he was wearing good clothes, coat collar of curly fur and worn silk skin cap. And this man, he was paying for his ticket, he was asking for a ticket in the gallery, for a seat in the gallery, and even he paid for his seat in copper coins. Laskov, is that you? Cried Sergey, recognizing in the little man his former wood chopper. How are you? What are you doing? How is everything with you? All right, I am a notary now and am paid 35 rubles a month. So he identified that the man who was standing beside him wearing silk skin cap was no other than Laskov, the beggar, the man who used to chop wood for him. And then he asked him that where he is, how he is, and then he says that now he is working as a notary and he was earning a handsome salary of 35 rubles a month. Thank heaven, that's fine. I am delighted for your sake. I am very, very glad, Laskov. You see, you are my good son in a sense. I gave you a push along the right path. You know, do you remember what a roasting I gave you? Yeah, I nearly had you sinking into the ground at my feet that day. Thank you, old man, for not forgetting my words. So a sense of pride came into his heart, into the heart and mind of Sergey, an advocate. Why it came to his mind? Because he thought that he has gave a new life. His words has given a new life to the person who was a drunkard, who used to deceive and cheat people, who were a beggar. And therefore he thanked God. Here heaven refers to God. And then he said that even I am very glad for you, I am very happy for you, as you took my word in a better manner and you followed what I said you, and I gave a push to you, and that push was in a right direction and you even followed my word. And then he said that do you remember the day when I gave you a roasting here it refers to the scolding. Then he said that do you remember the day when I scolded you? So he was recalling the day, the first day when he met him on the street, when he was caught lying, when he was caught deceiving the people. And then he said that even I would like to thank you that you did not forget my word and you worked upon it, and this is why you have become what you are today. Thank you too, said Laskov. If I had not come to you, then I might still have been calling myself a teacher or a student to this day. Yes, by flying to your protection, I dragged myself out of a pit. I am very glad indeed. Then he said, the beggar Laskov, he said that even I am thankful to you, because if I would have not met you that day, then till date, till now, definitely I would have been carrying out my same profession. That is, I would definitely be lying to someone till now and cheating people for food and shelter. So he thanked him. He said him that you are the one who took me out from those pit, from that bad things. And then he said that I even am very happy for that. Thank you for your kind words and deeds. I am very grateful to you and to your cook. God bless that good and noble woman. You spoke finely then, and I shall be indebted to you to my dying day. But strictly speaking, it was your cook Olga who saved me. How is that? Then he said that no doubt you are the one who spoke to me in a very good manner, and you changed my life, and I will remember you till I am alive. Till my dying day, it means till I am alive. But he said that strictly speaking, it was your cook. He was talking about Olga, the cook of Sergei. That he said that even I should be very thankful to your cook. That was that lady, she changed me, she saved me, and therefore I want to thank her. Then this man, the Sergei, asked him that how did she save you? When I used to come to your house to chop wood, she used to begin, oh you sot, oh you miserable creature, there's nothing for you but ruin. And then she would sit down opposite me and grow sad, look into my face and weep. Oh, you unlucky man, there's no pleasure for you in this world, and there will be none in the world to come. You drunkard, you will burn in hell. Oh, you unhappy one. And so she would carry on, in that strain. So he says here, he's narrating it to Sergei that how that lady Olga helped him to correct himself, helped him to be a good man. He says that when he used to come to his house to chop wood, she used to abuse him a lot. She did not abuse him just, but she used to feel sympathy and compassion for that man. He says that she used to sit against him. It means opposite him, in front of him. And she used to grow sad for him. And she was sad. She started even weeping for him and cursing him. She used to curse him a lot. She used to abuse him a lot. She used to call him drunkard. Sot, it means a habitual drunkard. And then she used to say a lot of things to him. That you will burn in hell. You will do nothing. You are a very unlucky man. You are a drunkard. And she used to continue in the same manner. I cannot tell you how much misery she suffered, how many tears she shed for my sake. But the chief thing was she used to chop the wood for me. Do you know, sir, that I did not chop a single stick of wood for you? She did it all. Why she saved me, why I changed, why I stopped drinking at the sight of her cannot explain. I only know that owing to her words and noble deeds, a change took in my place in my heart. She set me right, and I shall never forget it. However, it is time to go now. There goes the bell. Laskov bowed and departed to the gallery. So he said to Sergei that he never chopped a single stick for him. So when he used to come to his house, the lady Olga, she used to curse him. She was sympathized. She felt the compassion and the pain of that man, She used to curse him a lot as he was a drunkard. She used to call him a number of things, and she used to even weep and cry for him. And then he says that that lady used to chop all wood for him. And he says that kind deed and words and the act which she did for me, her tears, her words, her deed, whatever she did for me, whatever she said to me, I don't know why, but all those things changed me completely. And this is how she saved him. She saved him by doing her work, by chopping woods for her. And he says that due to that lady only, due to her words only, and due to her deeds only, due to the tears which she used to shed, he said that I don't know why. I don't know why she used to shed tear for me, why she used to weep for me. But that thing only changed me completely. And because of that only, one day something occurred to my mind. There was a sudden change in my feeling, in my heart, and after that, I changed completely and stopped drinking, I stopped begging, and I am what I am today. So, all is that because of that lady only, because of her kind deed only, and because of her compassion, whatever she felt for me. So, at that time only, the bell for the show of the theater rang, and then he said that now it's time to go to the theater. So he bowed, he gave his respect, he wished him, and then he went to the gallery. So this is all about this story. This is how we saw that by the kind act of Olga, this man from a sort converted to a teetotaler, and from a beggar he became a respectable notary. Thank you.